Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. KSAMC approves resolution for Bureau of Standards to test NWC's water quality. 4 CARICOM member states to implement full free movement of nationals by October 1 this year. And later in sports, West Indies coach says a team will fight in the final test. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carrie Simpson. Here are the details. The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation has approved a resolution for the Bureau of Standards to test National Water Commission's water quality. The issue was raised at the recent monthly meeting. Details in this report.
There has been controversy surrounding the release of the findings of water quality tests after the National Water Commission opted to cease sharing its water quality reports with the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation after questions were raised about the level of fecal coliform in the water supplied. Water Minister Matthew Samuda had said the NWC is not legally required to provide water quality reports to the municipal corporations. But during the KSAMC's monthly meeting yesterday, Mayor Andrew Swaby said despite several attempts to have a meeting with NWC and Minister Samuda, there have been no progress.
After that resolution 2 months ago, I think it was the next day, I'd instructed the CEO to write National Water Commission to see if we could have a meeting. How do we resolve the issue? And you would have known the subsequent letter that was sent to us. And even after that, we have reached out to see how we can. And for the better part of 2 months, we are unable to have a meeting with the National Water Commission.
Mayor Swaby said after holding off passing the resolution for 2 months in hopes that the water agency would have agreed to a meeting, he was left with no other choice. Deputy Mayor of Kingston, Delroy Williams, supported the resolution for private testing of NWC water quality.
I agree with the move. I find this troubling. All the time I have been here as mayor, they have attended a couple times, but they have generally attended meetings. I don't understand what would be the basis.
And for Councillor for the Trafalgar Division, Jesse James Clark, the report could have answered several questions in real time at the Public Health and Sanitation Committee if NWC had been in attendance.
I am sure Councillor Richards and Councillor Brownburn, who both represent the rural divisions, would like the opportunity to get their water questions answered in real time. For example, which sites tested positive for fecal coliforms and the communities affected? Were the residents notified? How many samples were taken from each site each month for testing?
We are here to serve the people of the municipality. Both of us are here to serve it. We may disagree on issues, but I believe that we have one common cause, and it's to serve the people of Kingston and St. Andrew. I am using this forum publicly to say to Minister Samuda and the NWC that under my leadership, I will at all times be willing to entertain them in a constructive discussion in the interest of the people of Kingston St. Andrew.
Anthony Atkinson, TVJ News.
4 CARICOM member states will implement a full free movement of nationals by October 1 this year, marking a major step forward in regional integration onto the CARICOM single market and economy. Speaking at the closing press conference of the 49th meeting of CARICOM heads of government, Chairman Dr. Andrew Holness said concerns were raised about the slow pace of implementation and agreed to speed up the process.
That we are now moving from applying administratively the protocol on enhanced cooperation, which all member states have signed, with now 4 countries, Barbados, Belize, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Dominica, reiterating their willingness to implement full free movement under the protocol starting October 1, 2025.
Holness reiterated that Jamaica remains committed to implementing full free movement in accordance with the treaty amendments.
Due to our legislative framework and other considerations, we have had to move with greater consideration. However, it is our intention to speed up the implementation of full free movement. Jamaica is indeed committed to this.
To other news, local government Minister Desmond McKenzie is chiding the opposition for pushing back against the government's rural school bus system. The opposition said the buses being used for the initiative are not safe and has proposed to pay private bus and taxi operators to take children to school. But Mr. McKenzie rubbished the proposal.
To them when they're in the taxi. Man a rub upon them, woman a rub upon them. They walk the trunk and put them in the trunk for sit down. They treat our school children as animals because the fear is not substantial enough.
Mr. McKenzie said the school bus initiative is the government's response to the long-standing concerns of parents in rural Jamaica.
It's after 9 o'clock and the picnic can't reach home yet. By the time they reach home, it's just time for them to get up to get ready to go to school. And it creates a drain on their young minds. And what this government has done, instead of talking about it, the minister decided to introduce a system.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tofton has announced the integration of technology into the process of food handler certification renewals. This change is designed to offer food handlers greater flexibility while upholding strict health and safety standards. Shamila Pullen reports.
The new system will cut down on the need for frequent renewals, making the process more efficient while still prioritizing public safety. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tofton shared the update during a briefing with trainees in St. Andrew. He emphasized that the ministry is leveraging modern technology to simplify the entire food handler permit system.
The mandate, the policy mandate, is to make that process easier. Whether you do it some of it online, whether you have a pre-prepared some information that you can access. So when you come into a lecture, a teaching, a classroom like this, you don't have to, you can almost pre-prepare in many ways. And maybe I've gotten some of the things out of the way. That makes it more efficient because you can do it on your computer, on your phone at home. We have the technology, we need to move in that direction.
This change aims to make the certification process smoother and more accessible for food handlers. For those worried about food safety, Dr. Tofton reassured the public that while the certification period has been extended, inspections will be ramped up.
Instead of having about 500 or 600 non-stops, I'm told we want to add another 400 or 500 over time, not over time. So we are literally going to be doubling those numbers. And what that means for you is that in the period of 2 years, when you have that permission, expect an unexpected visit at any time.
The ministry will be increasing the number of public health inspectors conducting surprise checks at food establishments, ensuring that standards are met and public health is safeguarded.
There is no reason why that cannot be automated, why you can't get feedback, just as you do when you go to the embassy for a visa or go to Digicel or wherever, and you get your bill online sent to you. No reason why you cannot, in an authentic way, get that kind of response quickly, so you don't have to wait months in some instances for a result. because months mean deprivation of your work.
Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.
Councillor for the Lindstead Division, Herbert Garrick, says he feels his complaints about poor garbage collection are not being heard or taken seriously. This has been a recurring issue in Lindstead St. Catherine, with reports of overflowing bins, uncollected garbage and growing concerns about public health. He is levelling blame at the National Solid Waste Management Authority.
Solid waste really is part of the biggest problem with this garbage. If solid waste was coming here every night, as they promised, you wouldn't come here to come see the garbage. Because this garbage has been here since Saturday. And this go on, this minute they come here tonight and they come tomorrow night. And then 2-3 days after they don't come again until another 3 days. That's how they are.
Contacted regional manager at the NSWMA, Jermaine Jones.
In Lindstead, we've had some challenges in the past week. However, we are now back on track and we'll be able to clear any backlogs by Saturday. All right. Currently, as we speak, a truck is on the bypass clearing one of the major dump sites that is on the bypass. What we noticed is that we have demolished the bin at the trade line in the town, and since then dumping has started along the bypass. So we've been making an extra effort to clear.
Mr. Jones confirmed that shortly after, a team was dispatched and the affected areas were cleared. It's now time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. It's now time for the Business Minute.
Tax Administration Jamaica says it recently added the Notabay Tax Office in St. Mary to the number of tax offices offering same-day processing of driver's licenses. This brings the total number of tax offices offering the service to 9. TAJ is also reminding motorists that they can renew their driver's licenses up to 60 days before it expires. Further afield, some leading tech companies are investing millions to train teachers how to use artificial intelligence. The $23 million initiative is backed by Microsoft, OpenAI, and 2 teachers' unions. The goal is to train 400,000 kindergarten teachers through grade 12 in artificial intelligence over the next 5 years. The National Academy of AI Instruction announced the effort on Tuesday. The group says it will develop AI training curriculum for teachers that can be distributed online and at an in-person campus in New York City. And that's it for the Business Minute.
And here's a preview of what's coming up in this evening's Health Report.
In the next edition of the Health Report, we look at gestational diabetes.
Remember the hormonal imbalance. You have the hormonal changes in hormone, and that predisposes you to gestational diabetes. However, one of the other things that predisposes you is hereditary. So if you have a family history of diabetes, you may not be diabetic throughout growing up. You may not be diabetic growing up, but the pregnancy, and because of the changes in the hormone, this now impacts on your body and you now start developing diabetes.
That's the Health Report in Primetime News at 7. And now for today's healthy living tip. Choose complex carbohydrates. Focus on healthy fats. Control portion sizes. Eat regularly. Stay hydrated. Limit sugary and processed foods and check food labels.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown is renewing his call for direct air links between the Caribbean and Africa. Speaking ahead of the Africa CARICOM Summit in Ethiopia this September, Brown said the initiative could boost trade, agriculture, e-commerce and sports. He's proposing investment in at least 2 wide-body aircraft to support regular passenger and cargo service. On the international scene, the U.S. Supreme Court has cleared the way for President Donald Trump's plans to downsize the federal workforce despite warnings that critical government services will be lost and hundreds of thousands of federal employees will be out of a job. The justices yesterday overrode lower court orders that temporarily froze the cuts, which have been led by the Department of Government Efficiency. The court said in an unsigned order that no specific cuts were in front of the justices, only an executive order issued by Trump and an administration directive for agencies to undertake job reductions. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm McKenzie Robinson.
And we head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.